Guys, just finished up this first sniper match that I've tried out, and I used the Nexus 4-25x50 from Element Optics. It was a phenomenal experience. I love this glass. It is real dirty right now. I'm gonna have to get that cleaned up. But running it on this Uinta Precision was a perfect match. I would go back and shoot it again. I love how people kind of misunderstand what this is. Initially, they think you're just shooting an AR, and then they look at it a little closer and like, wow, that's really unique. And Anarchy Outdoors, thank you to Anarchy Outdoors for supporting the channel, because those are the grips that I use. You guys are going to see some new Anarchy gear coming out this month, but I'm running it in matches. I'm running it on my personal rifles and Sunway Photo. So Sunway Photo sent out some tripods, and I actually took a risk. I decided to use a lightweight 28 series tripod for this match because I didn't believe that I would need a heavyweight tripod for it. Planned on trying to get low as much as I could, and it kind of worked out for me. So I liked carrying the lightweight tripod. It did really well. Again, the Optic, as far as considerations for magnification, it was everything I needed. I don't need more than 25 ever at a match like this, I don't think. It would be really surprising if I did. 30mm tube had plenty of internal travel. This match only had targets as advertised to 700 yards, so I knew I'd go into it just fine. And the furthest that I engaged was 5 something. And so lots of internal elevation. I did a lot more holding over than I anticipated. I ended up dialing less, and I ran a fairly dirty parallax for about half the match at least. And the image and the depth of field was phenomenal on the Optic. Depth of field is something I'm always looking for, especially in a match. I want it to look good at multiple distances. I don't want to spend more time being finicky with a parallax. I ran no illumination during that, and I probably stayed between 10 and 16 power at the most on 16 power. Everything was very, very clear, and the reticle was easy to contrast. I didn't have trouble picking up the stadia or the center dot or the wind holds, which is one of the most important things in a match like this, is being able to quickly ascertain where your reticle is on gray targets on a gray background, and it truly was, right, Cameron? It was it was gray today. Everything was gray. There were times where we just laughed when we finally found a target because it was gray on gray on gray, and just difficult to find on most days, but the contrast was really good from the Optic. It was mostly me that struggled with that. So thank you to Element Optics for sending out their Nexus. I loved it. I will be using this a lot more in PRS and sniper matches going forward. Probably some NRL 22 if I get a chance as well. You know, it's not actually that bad of a shooting day, other than like the driving rain and the wind and the wet and the cold weather and the worms all over, and I'm saturated. It's really not that bad of a day to shoot, actually. So I'm going to shoot out of this mini tank trap, and just doing some work at about 110 and then 219 yards from where I'm at right now. I do have that Nexus sitting on top of a CZ457 Jarvis barrel KRG chassis, thanks to those brands for sending stuff out. And I'm really happy with the experience I'm having with this Element Optics. I love it. But here's what the stage is going to be. Out of the nest, I'm going to do 2 at like 110, 115 right here. Relatively large targets. It's really windy. So 2, then I'm going to transition, get my data right, my parallax right for 219, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. So majority of this will be done at 200 yards, but we're going to start off at 100. I'm going to shoot this on, or 110. I'm going to shoot this on 12 power. There is a reason I have the sling on, if you're confused about that. The sling is actually for practice navigating around things for the next match I'm going to shoot, which is center fire match, 7.3, got the parallax. And real quick on the target, there it is. I am doing hit to move on. So if I miss at all, I'm going to stay on there until I get that hit. All right. And back to the center. It's a little bit awkward to work around this one. Using a lightweight fill bag because that's what I plan to use at this next sniper match as well. There it is, cleaned it. hit pretty big targets, but really good practice. And I'm getting so comfortable with this setup. I'm already really good with reticle because I've been shooting this mill style reticle from Element for quite a while. Since before the Titan series, actually. I've been shooting that reticle. I love it. That's why it's on this gun, because I absolutely love it. I wish I had two of the Optic. And now it's going to go over to a center fire. Let's talk about that, and I'll show it off a little bit. All right, I've got a camera recording downrange. Got a little bit of ammo from Notches. Sent out some burger ammo. Does really, really well in most of my guns, actually, especially the 144 degree. I think I'm going to try to bounce a little cone down there. It's like a maybe 3.5 inch cone. Should be able to see it if I bounce it here. I'm sure the target camera footage will be sufficient. Let's see how many shots it takes me to get close. And of course, I'm using the Anarchy Outdoors, the new, what some people would say is improved grip with this increased thumb shelf. And you'll kind of see how that actually works with it in hand with XL size hands. That was not too bad. 2 shots. Looks like either hit it or bounced right under it and sent it up in there. That's kind of what I was hoping to do. Just bounce a little bit. That was really fun. With the grip, throw the safety on here. With the grip, one thing that is just so much more comfortable is being in the prone and just being behind the rifle in general. I'm not running around with rifles like this taking standing shots very much. It's usually from a position like this or on a prop or like in the sniper match. This just feels more comfortable. And the lack of thickness in this one is not like real noticeable for me. I've had a lot of time on the Gen 1 version, and I like that one still quite a bit. I just think I like this thumb shelf so much more for the particular rifles that I'm running with. But like I said, still going to run the Gen 1, still like it, and times where I need a little extra thickness, I think I'll grab that one instead. These clicks are so tactile, really good confirmation on every click. Lines up exactly on the line. I'm so happy with that with this Nexus 2. How about a couple clay pigeons? Let's see what it takes to knock a couple clay pigeons at 625.
Yeah, I've been surprised. My kids are very good about like not being very serious about it. Like they'll go and like pick them up, but they're never like watch me.
All right, took 3 shots on that one to dust that clay, and you can see I maybe made a mistake there. I hit kind of low. I compensated. I held up 2/10. Maybe the first shot was kind of a bad break because the last shot I held right back on, and it busted the clay. So I was probably 2/10 error in my own hold. Very quick on the Optic. The Optic allows me to hold very quickly and make corrections very quickly. It's a simple reticle. It's a bold reticle. It's just not complicated to get behind, guys. And of course, I'm shooting a premium gun. This is the Uinta Precision. I've got the new integral Arca rail that's built into the handguard. This is so good. It's got this little plate on the backside. If you got a Gen 1, you need to get this handguard just because I think it's such a nice improvement. And I ran the Gen 1 really good. I ran it in match recently, but I like this better. Not just aesthetically, I think functionally just makes sense to have an integral arc rail. And then I have the anechoic 30 caliber can. Oh, a full length can. But this thing is a hammer. That grip is very comfortable, and you put good bullets in it, like really, really good bullets. Again, I found them here. That is what produces results like that with basically, just a couple shots down the tube. Now, as far as the specs go for the scope, you will have a link to go ahead and find out all the nerdy details. What I'm going to tell you that you probably need to know right away is that this is a 30 millimeter tube. There are multiple revolutions available. You're going to have 10 mils versus the Theos that has 12 mils with this scope. This parallax also goes all the way down to 10 meters as it's indicated here. I have tested that to make sure it's actually true. It does go down to 10 meters. Then it goes up to infinity. For my eye anyways, with setting up the diopter properly and everything, it seems like those numbers actually check out. They're really, really close or correct or exact. I don't know, different from person to person and how they set it up, so I'm not willing to make any promises. I'm just saying for my eye, it's right there. Every dial, every knob is smooth, it's appropriate. The feedback is extremely tactile. These are not lift to operate, which is great with me. I don't need them to be lift to operate, but you do have a capped windage, and it's going to function and feel very similar or same as your top turret. The top turret is what has a zero stop built into it, and these are toolless reset for both the zero and the zero stop. That is huge because I take this Optic and the Theos. I have a few Theos. They go from Optic or from rifle to rifle, and honestly, I should just buy more. But I move them from rifle to rifle and season to season with changes, suppressors, things like this. Thank you to Anna Cook for sending out pipsqueak on the end of this guy. Really cool. Yeah, it's really convenient to have something that's toolless. So those are the things a lot of you care about. It's 50 millimeter objective. And for me, that is plenty enough. It's actually really quite appropriate for a 4 to 25 optic. I am getting with a 50 MOA base and a 50 yard zero on this rimfire. There's 10 mils. I have my revolution indicator that pops up. And I'm gonna stop right about 19.2. I'm not gonna push it past that. 19.2 mils available. And then you have 20 mils in the reticle, which I can still see on reasonable power. And so being a bold enough, thick enough reticle, I can hunt with this, I can shoot long range, I can do PRS, and pretty soon here sniper matches. I feel really comfortable with all of that. And it's not such a big footprint that it feels awkward really on any rifle. And it's not so small or limited that it doesn't feel appropriate on even some of my bigger rifles actually. Kind of a nice fit across the board. All right. It is probably like the most difficult thing for me to end a video. I don't want to say a lot and say nothing. I'm going to try not to ramble and actually keep it a little shorter than I usually do. I love the Optic. I think it's a very high tier optic. The glass is phenomenal. When it comes to a 30 millimeter scope tube that has this much internal elevation with a 50 millimeter objective that still has that excellent light collection, contrast was great. You can see the shadow down here, looking into the shadow on dark colored targets like I did at this competition last weekend. Looking for those dark colored targets. They still pop, they still look really good. I'm seeing what I want to see in the air and I'm seeing what I want to see on the ground. I feel like this is a probably pretty big step up from most of the other 30 millimeter tube optics that you're going to see out there. Let's say like the $1,500 class of optics aren't going to touch this in my opinion. I still think resolution is much higher on this optic, not to mention quality control. And one of the things that I value the most, the reticle. I absolutely love this reticle. They have a couple options. They have a clean one. They have the Christmas tree dirty version. I like this. This is the Christmas tree option. I can shoot both of them pretty competently. I've messed around with both of them a lot, but I like this version because I can take this same optic, I can strap it on something else and run pretty far. I can do some ELR shooting with this, especially if the lighting is good. I'm not shooting ELR into the evening most of the time. So I still feel like this isn't gonna hold me back. It's got the extended holdover, which I know a lot of people maybe don't use. Go for the clean reticle if that's you. For me, I do. I do tend to dial everything out of here and shoot as far as I can with those holdovers. And maybe sometimes I'll throw on a prism or something like that to increase elevation or canted rings. So this optic is not limited, full range of travel, image looks beautiful, resolution is fantastic. Look at that shadow behind me, shooting into that shadow, I'm still seeing everything that I feel like I should be able to see, and it's a step up. The fit and finish, the feel of the optic, everything from the box, like the things that it comes with, the extra components, the lens cleaning cloth, and the toolless reset for the turrets. The optic just feels next tier. And that's one of the things I love about it. At the price point, I think it brings more than a lot of the competitors do. There's some similar designs out there, and I recognize that I'm 100% aware of those optics. I've looked through them. Many of them are nice. I just prefer this one so much more. The experience, the user experience for me as a person, because of the feature sets and the way that they've nuanced this optic, it's worth every penny and it stands out. So that's as much as I can really share. Shout out to Anechoic for sending out this 223 can, as well as 30 caliber can. I competed with those and I love these cans. These are my go-to cans. Absolutely a big fan. Olight sent out the light, and then Warbird sent out the hearing protection, and Fab Defense sent out the pistol grip. So I just want to throw a couple of those things out. Anarchy Outdoors. I will be putting an Anarchy grip on here. I wanted to try one of those out. It's on another platform. You'll see it here, but I've got the Anarchy bubble level on top. So Sunway Photo has been the tripod you've probably been seeing throughout this video. If you're curious, I just know a lot of times people ask, so I'll throw it out there now so you know what it is. This is good optic, guys. You will not be disappointed. That's something I can stand by. There's a lot of optics where I'm like, well, maybe, maybe not. Depends on your taste. For me, even if you have a premium taste, this is not a disappointing optic any day, as long as you realize you're getting a 30 millimeter tube, the 50 millimeter objective, and there is a certain amount of internal elevation. It's not 40 mils, it's not 50 mils, it's a little bit limited, but it's a beautiful image all the way through. If that's you, hunters, competitive shooters, yeah, this one's for you guys. If you like this video, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Comment down below what you like about Element Optics, some of the things that I missed. Obviously, I can't get it all in one video. It's just too much talking. And if you like this video, watch one of these that has been handpicked for you.